I'm ready to proceed, Mr. Presiding Officer. I'd like to start this discussion with a question that hopefully will allow our kababayans who are watching, listening, to understand the situation. Of course, I pose it also to the parties. If the government had in mind that there's a business, and of course, a particular businessman or businesswoman who is violating a lot of laws pertaining to the operation of their business, be it customs law, BIR, regulations, can they just proceed and pwede ba silang basta na lang mag-request ng dokumento o mag-file ng kaso na requiring the businessman and the corporation to produce those documents? Pwede ba? So yun ang pag-isipan natin, no? Kasi yun ang tanong eh. Similarly, ginagawan ko lang ng ibang analogy.
Jurisprudence na yan, pwede yan. MTC nga nakakakuha eh.
So this is the essence, dear colleagues, parties, of the principle of due process. This is ingrained in our Constitution. Totoo po na may karapatan ang gobyerno at obligasyon ng gobyernong patakbuhin ng maayos ang gobyerno, but it is always with due respect to the rights of every individual Filipino. That is the right to life, liberty, and property. So bago mo sagasaan yung right to life, liberty, and property, siguraduhin mo lang na may basehan ka. Yun lang naman ang sabi. So of course, ako, gusto ko talaga na maayos ang patakbo ng gobyerno para if somebody's life is also in danger, then government has to step up and prevent somebody's liberty. Kasi nga, sinasagasaan niya yung life and liberty ng ibang tao. So it's a balance. No? I think we can all agree it's a balance. So I want to go straight into a landmark case and I will ask both parties for their legal opinions on it kasi it is a legal proceeding. Pero gawin nyo lang simple para hindi masyado complicated para sa mga nakikinig sa atin. So in the landmark case of Stonehill versus Diokno, 1967 pa po to, karamihan ng mga lawyers hindi pa pinapanganak. The importance of due process was highlighted and the Supreme Court discussed 2 points. General warrants are void. Sabi ng Supreme Court, a warrant must be issued on probable cause for one specific offense and must particularly describe the thing being seized. So kailangan particular ang description dun sa warrant. Warrants that leave it to the discretion of the officer serving them to decide or general warrants are outlawed by the Constitution because they place the sanctity of the home and privacy at the mercy of prosecutors. So sinabi dito na kailangan specific. Take note, warrant ito ha. Supina naman ang pinag-uusapan natin. Alam ko po yun. Pero I'm pointing it out kasi ang magiging tanong ko later on is relevant ito sa kaso. Okay?
Parang narinig ako ni Pia doon.
The principle that was established in Stonehill versus Diokno was the exclusionary rule. Evidence obtained through an unconstitutional search is inadmissible for any purpose in any proceeding. Ito po yung tinatawag na the fruit of the poison tree. Pag nakuha mo yung information dun sa bawal na paraan, kung ano yung information mo, bawal ipakita yon. And this is where I need to get guidance from the presiding officer. If I'm allowed, I don't have to name names, to share the discussion that we had in caucus para lang mabanggit ko na ito yung mga provisions of law na napag-usapan. Am I allowed to do that? Would you like me to approach you? Please let me know because I will abide. Basically, because ang nangyari is we had our own discussion and I want to mention the provisions of law that we discussed. I don't have to mention names.
The lady may proceed.
Okay, thank you.
Ano nangyari?
Tungkol dito sa exclusionary rule, ulitin ko fruit of the poison tree, dun nga sa aming very open discussion and I thank many of our colleagues who were I think we engaged in a fruitful discussion for some, not for all. I think yung iba talagang gustong makipag-debate at di-debate kasi gusto ko rin matuto, no? I think all of you will attest na I also wanted to learn from all of you kung anong perceptions nyo sa batas, kung ano din yung sinasabi ng mga abogado nyo. So dun sa fruits of the poison tree, sabi ko, kung yung pinanggalingan ng mga dokumento bawal na kunin ng basta-basta, then paano mo gagawin?
Wait lang yung sinasabi ni Pia Cayetano ay tungkol sa pagkuha ng ebidensya. Oo, sa warrant at pagkuha ng ebidensya. Kapag ang ebidensya ay nakuha mo sa paraang illegal, halimbawa, nag-record ka ng hindi alam nung kausap mo, violation niya ng anti-wiretapping law. So, hindi mo pwede ngayon gamiting ebidensya yon sa kaso. Ngayon, sinasabi ba niya na kapag nagsubpina sila as an impeachment court sa mga relevant agencies, gagawa sila ng isang bagay na illegal? Parang mali yata yun. Hindi yata ganun tumatak. Impeachment court sila eh. Sabi ko nga kanina mga kababayan, MTC. Municipal Trial Court nga, nakakapagsubpina ng tax records eh. Impeachment court pa kaya?
Use it. So yun yung importante dito kasi I'm sure nakita nyo no sa korte kahit sabihin nyo pong sa mga legal drama na na-throw out. The case is thrown out because na-violate ang due process. So that's the discussion I want to have. I want to hear both ha. Wala akong kinikilingan dito. I'm just explaining na yun yung argument ng defense na walang due process, kulang at why prosecution would you say na nasusunod yung due process. And before I give the floor to the parties, yung sinabi kong kaso na Stonehill versus Diokno, very interestingly, involves the esteemed father of our colleague, Congressman Prosecutor Chel Diokno. In the case of Stonehill versus Diokno, the father of Congressman Diokno was the Secretary of Justice. And in this case, the government, through the Secretary and other prosecutors, suspected that Harry Stonehill and his associates and several corporations that they controlled were violating central bank laws, tariff and customs laws, Internal Revenue Code, and the Revised Penal Code. So nag-request sila ng issuance of search warrant. At ang gusto nilang tingnan is books of accounts, financial records, vouchers, receipts, ledgers, etc., and other documents showing all the business transactions. Stonehill and the other petitioners filed a petition before the Supreme Court arguing that the search warrants were general warrants because they did not particularly describe the things to be seized. So, general pa pala yun. Books of accounts, financial records, receipts.
General yon kasi hindi specific to the date. Kaya ganon. May period kasi. Hindi naman pwede na from day zero ng kumpanya hanggang present kukunin mo. Hindi pwedeng ganon.
Holding that evidence seized under an unconstitutional warrant is inadmissible. So, I now pose my questions. Applicable po ba ang kaso na ito, Hill versus Diokno, as far as the prosecution is concerned? And then also for the defense, applicable. Take note.
Kalimutan ko na yan. Dinigest ko na yan before.
Well, all of the pleadings,
Stonehill.
nakakapa sila. I kind of know your answer, but sa dami, I like to hear it again. And I think, of course, karamihan ng kababayan natin did not read it. So explain natin sa kanila because this is a landmark case. Kung ikaw ay law student na magbabar, ito yung mga kasong titingnan mo. So malay mo, matanong yan sa bar. So nakatulong man lang tayo dun sa mga bar students na maliwanagan sila. Baka mamaya trick question to.
Sige.
Is it applicable or not? That is my question. I will sit down and then I will come back for my next. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. If I may be recognized.
The member of the panel of prosecutors may proceed to give his answer. Thereafter, the counsel for respondent may do so as well.
Iba po ang konteksto ng search warrant na naging
Correct.
main issue sa Stonehill versus
Tama.
sa konteksto po natin na subpoena ang pinag-uusapan. Ang
Correct.
search warrant po, ang governing law po dyan ay nasa Bill of Rights natin, Article 3, Section 3. At kaya siya nandun dahil very invasive po ang search warrant. Pag ang isang
Correct. Unreasonable
judge
searches and
ng
seizures
search
kasi yan.
warrant, pwedeng pasukin yung opisina o yung bahay ng person involved, pwedeng halongkatin yung lahat ng mga gamit niya doon sa kanyang opisina o sa kanyang bahay. Kaya po naglagay ng maraming limitasyon ang ating konstitusyon dahil marami ng pang-aabuso, marami ng mga halimbawa ng pang-aabuso na nangyari kahit noon pa. Iba po ang pinag-uusapan natin ngayon. Ang pinag-uusapan natin ngayon ay subpoena. Hindi po ito license to enter an office or to search any place. Ito po ay mismong humihiling lang ng mga dokumentong nakasulat sa loob ng subpoena. Therefore, the contexts are very different. When we speak of a search warrant, I do agree there should be very specific limitations on how that warrant
Warrant
can
kasi
be
yan eh.
enforced. Pagdating naman po sa subpoena, meron din po yan, but that is not governed by the Constitution. It's governed by Rule 21 of the Rules of Civil Procedure, which basically provide that for a subpoena to be valid, it must be relevant and it must be definite. Ibig po sa relevance ay may kinalaman na may kaugnayan yan sa mga kailangan patunayan ng mga facts. At ang pagdating naman sa definiteness ay klaro kung anong mga iba't ibang dokumento ang hinihingi. In our case, we respectfully submit, Your Honors, that we have met both the standards of relevance and materiality. The BIR records, the bank records, and the records of the Anti-Money Laundering Council are relevant to the facts in issue pertaining to the charges of unexplained wealth. Hindi po natin malalaman kung talagang merong unexplained wealth ang Vice President kung hindi natin mabubuksan yung kanyang mga bank records, kung hindi rin natin makikita at mailalatag ang anti-money laundering at PIR records po nila. And insofar as definiteness is concerned, we have specified the particular documents that we are requesting, and we have included as well an explanation of why those are important. Kaya sa aming pananaw po ay we have satisfied the requirements for a subpoena do Sesteco. Thank you.
Mr. Presiding Officer, before we recognize the defense, just a quick follow-up question.
Hindi ko may lapit eh.
Bigyan ko ng time na bulungan muna siya ng kasama.
I'm sorry.
Okay na kayo? No, it's okay.
Senator Judge Pia, would you like the counsel for respondent to answer?
Not yet, Mr.
Not yet.
My
Okay.
request was if
Okay.
I'll just ask a follow-up question.
You may proceed,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you for that. I appreciate his Honor's response. May I simply point out, and again, please give me your explanation. Tama ho yung pagkabanggit nyo na yung nature ng search warrant very invasionary, di ba? Because it requires that pasukin yung bahay, halughugin yung gamit. Pero hindi kaya invasive din yung paghalughog ng records? Is that not extremely parallel? I mean, is it not very similar in the sense that what is being questioned now are the very essence of somebody's savings, earnings, so which we have to agree.
Not if you're a public officer.
That is protected, but in fact, His Honor is saying that it would fall under the police power. So, imbis na papasukin mo sa bahay na nandun yung mga dokumento, you will do the same by asking these agencies, whether it is the BIR, the banks, or AMLA to now reveal these documents. So that's my question. Is it in the prosecution's is it the point of view of the prosecution na iba yon, hindi ba invasive yon? Kayo gumamit ng word na invasionary, no, but I'll use invasive, I think. Yeah. Anyway, please answer, and then we'll give the floor to the defense, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Counsel for the panel for prosecutors may
Thank you, Your
answer as he pleases.
Yung pong search warrant, kung ano man ang makuhang ebidensya doon, ay direktang binibigay po yun sa court, and that is now considered as evidence by the court that issued the search warrant. Iba po ang subpoena, dahil pag naglabas ang isang hukuman ng subpoena, itong mga records ay hindi po siya considered yet as evidence. Yan po ay ipoproduce lang, dadalhin lang po sa korte, and now it is up to the parties, and I refer to both parties, to decide which of those documents may be relevant in terms of the evidence that they are need to present. Yung pong nakikita po natin sa subpoena, it is not in any way invasive because as I mentioned earlier, as pointed out by Senator Enrile when he was the presiding officer in the Corona trial, we are simply having those documents produced. The admissibility of those documents will only be determined after if offered by the parties. Kaya po sa aming mga pananaw ay malaking-malaki ang pagkaiba ng search warrant sa subpoena.
Hindi, malaki talaga. Kahit
maybe-
hindi.
With the permission of the lady Senator Judge, counsel for respondent may now give his answer to her query. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Your Honors. Your Honors, ang posisyon po ng depensa dito ay subpoena and a search warrant are very much similar in that both are compulsory processes. No? So, yes, hindi tayo papasok sa bahay ng isang tao o ng nasasakdal, but it will be intrusive because we will be opening up all the financial transactions for sabi nga dito, almost 20 years of the respondent. Kaya po, katulad ng isang search warrant, the things that we are asking for through a subpoena must be particularly described. Kanina po, nabanggit po ng aking kagalang-galang na opposing counsel na particularly described na po yung kanilang naisulat. However, the defense does not agree with that proposition because if you look at it, tama naman po, nakasulat po dito ng hinihingi nila ay account opening and maintenance records, KYC documents, information files, signature cards, all account and transaction records, ledgers, journals. Basically, Your Honors, this is everything. Ibig sabihin, ni-specify lang nila ang nilalaman ng lahat ng bank records ng respondent. So in our view, Your Honors, while they took pains to specify each and every document, the truth of the matter is they're asking for everything. Ngayon, pagdating sa subpoena, and even in the case
Hindi ko mag-gets yung pinupunto nila lalo dun sa bank records kasi ang impeachment is an exception to the bank secrecy law. So hindi ko alam ano pa pinagdidebatihan kung ang pinagdidebatihan dito ay yung AMLAC and BIR. Sige, walang problema pag debatihan 'yon kasi medyo ano 'yun medyo gray area talaga 'yun eh. Yung bank yung BIR records tsaka AMLAC records. Pero yung bank statements, yung bank records, hindi na pinagdidebatihan 'yan. Exempted na 'yan. Puntahan niyo yung bank secrecy law. Makikita niyo doon, it's explicit. Oo, sa Tagalog, sinabi ng lantaran, explicit, lantaran ang sinabi sa bank secrecy law na exempted ang impeachment. So, nung sinabi ngayon ni Michael Powa na ano yung hinihingi nila? Bank statements, KYC, signature cards, etc. etc. Lahat yan, mga kababayan, kasama sa bank records. So, bakit? Hindi ko gets. Kung yung AMLAC, medyo maiintindihan ko yan kasi medyo gray area pa yan. Yung sa BIR, gray area din yan. Although may president na, hihingi lang ng permission sa presidente. Walang problema. Pero yung sa bangko, hindi na question yan. Malinaw na yan.
umano ng Vice Presidente. So with the question, for us, yes, the Stonehill case, Stonehill versus Diokno, directly applies to the current proceedings. Kasi nga po doon, sinasabi talaga na
No,
dapat
it's different.
specified yung hiningi, particularly described
The
and
search
relevant.
warrant.
As of
The
this
search
point,
warrant.
they're asking, Your Honors, for all of these things. And again, while they specified each and every document, kung babasahin niyo po ng mabuti ito, they're
Naglalaway na
asking
si Michael Powa.
all bank records
Riga.
without
Regal Oliva, ba't hindi mo bigyan mo ng panyutong si Powa, naglalaway na naman.
will actually support their accusation. Yun po yung aming pananaw dito sa tanong ng ating kagalang-galang na hukom. Thank you po.
If Your Honor, please may be allowed to respond.
Hold on, counsel for the panel of prosecutors. Senator Judge Pia is the one asking the questions. Unless it's not a debate between the two counsels, you're merely responding to answers from questions by senator judges.
I actually prefer not, pero alam mo na, baka sabihin naman na may bias tayo pag di ko naman pinayagan. Di payagan.
no,
I defer to
Senator Judge Pia, you asked the question, they answered. It is not for the opposing counsel to answer points raised. They had that chance when they did their oral arguments, rebuttal and surrebuttal. You may proceed with your question, Senator Pia.
Sige, my question is, what is your question? or what is your comment? Go ahead. But keep it brief. Keep it brief.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. I just wanted to point out that this is the first time actually an impeachment court is faced with the challenge of determining whether the charges of unexplained wealth are valid or not. And yung previous Corona case, hindi po pinayagan ng impeachment court yung Article 2.4 ng Article 2. At kung ang magiging batayan po natin ay yung naging mga desisyon ng ating Korte Suprema, sinabi mismo ng Supreme Court in several cases na pag ang usapin ay unexplained wealth, kailangan makita yung kabuuan ng kinita ng isang lingkod bayan at yung mga dineclare niya sa salian. Just to quote just a very short portion, sabi ng Supreme Court from the same case I cited earlier, the Ombudsman's failure to account for all lawful sources of income, including proceeds from business ventures and government benefits, further weakens the allegation that Rafael's wealth was unexplained. The incomplete assessment disregarded his accumulated assets over decades of public service, making it impossible to determine whether his property acquisitions exceed his legitimate financial capacity, end quote. Hindi lang naman po dito sa harapan nitong hukom na ginagawa yung pagtingin sa kabuuan ng isang lingkod bayan. The Supreme Court has done it in this case where they looked at decades of the financial records of the person charged with unexplained wealth. And it has also happened in the cases of Rabusa and Ligot, which were decided recently by the Honorable Court. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I at least be given just 1 minute to respond to that, Your Honors? But of course, I will submit to the
Senator
pleasure
Judge
of
Of course, I
will,
yield.
guess,
Of
give
course, I
you
yield.
The same opportunity, I'm assuming.
Yes, Your Honors. Again, hindi ko po tinutuligsa o ino-oppose yung mga na-mention na case ng aking distinguished opposing counsel. However, those cases do not involve impeachment. And why is that relevant? Because in impeachment, as we have said, merong
Ang pangit ng excuse ni Powa dito. Ano pagbabasihan mo ng jurisprudence? Eh hindi naman appealable ang impeachment sa Supreme Court. So wala tayong jurisprudence on impeachment, mga kababayan. Sorry, medyo natawa ako doon ng konti. Pero ano yung sasagot? Binigyan, alam mo, mga kababayan, kapag nasa klase kami, tapos ganyan, nagre-recite kami, tapos ginanyan namin yung prof namin. Nasabihin ka, anong legal basis mo? Wala akong pakialam sa opinion mo, anong legal basis mo? Si Jokno, binatuhan sila ng jurisprudence. Tapos ang isasagot mo, hindi naman yan impeachment. Tama naman ako. Pakita ko lang yung sa AMLAC na kino-contest nila. Ito yun eh. Section 8A. The AMLAC and its secretariat shall securely protect information received or processed and shall not reveal in any manner any information known to them by reason of their office. This prohibition shall apply even after their separation from the AMLAC. So tama po yung sinasabi ni Congressman Chel Jokno na this refers to leaks. Hindi ito tungkol sa disclosure ng information sa mga korte at sa mga ahensya. Tungkol to sa mga empleyado at sekretariat ng AMLAC na nagli-leak ng impormasyon. Kasi the next paragraph, the AMLAC shall formulate rules governing information exchange and dissemination, the security and confidentiality of such information, including procedures for handling, storage, and protection of, as well as access to such information. Kung absolute ang confidentiality, bakit ang batas mismo sinasabi si AMLAC ay gumawa ng rules for information exchange and dissemination? So obviously, nagsisinungaling ang grupo ni Sara Duterte. Nagsisinungaling din si Pia Cayetano. Kasi ginamit niya tong batas na to para palabasin na mali ang disclosure ng AMLAC sa House Committee on Justice nung dinidinig yung impeachment. Meron sila eh. Sila mismo ang pinapagawa ng rules eh. Hindi siya absolute. So nagsisinungaling si Pia Cayetano, nagsisinungaling si Alan Peter Cayetano, dami-dami na sila. Nagsisinungaling din si Michael Powa. Balik tayo.
Iba yung COA chairman or ng ombudsman files cases about many, mukhang maraming congressman makakasuhan ngayon. So very, very much relevant yung ating pinag-uusapan ngayon. So just in the spirit of liberality, same kay Senator Pia, after one answers, if one wants to make a quick rebuttal, I'll ask you the question, but let's try to be concise. So, Council, may I ask, let's start with the case of Duterte versus House of Representatives. Thank you for reminding us about certain precedents and how I voted last time. But you would agree, di ba, that when you have legal proceedings, even in legislation, you follow what the latest law is. So, for example, if you're allowed to issue a general warrant before Stonehill versus Jokno, but after Stonehill versus Jokno, so if before Stonehill versus Jokno, walang doctrine of the fruit of the poisonous tree, then some policemen will still submit evidence that was illegally acquired. But after that, we have to follow. So you did make your point about obiter dictum. I'll go to that. But I just want to start out by saying the fact is there is a Duterte versus House of Representatives. So with your permission, let's start discussing that. So this case of Duterte versus House of Representatives came out after the impeachment of CJ Corona, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the two elements was discussed in this case. The act charge must be impeachable under Article 11, Paragraph 2 of the Constitution, and 2, the act committed must be committed during the term of the impeachable officer. You commented on that. Can you elaborate or give your stand regarding, I think you agree with letter A, right? That the charge must be an impeachable offense. I mean, we all agree on that, right?
Well, I would distinguish, Your Honor, please, between what we would call ratio decidendi, or the rule in that particular case, and obiter dicta, which are side comments or incidental remarks made in the opinion of the court. If we are speaking of the ratio decidendi of the Duterte versus House of Representatives case, I would have to disagree that it relates to the statements that you mentioned. My understanding of that case is it really relates to the first mode of impeachment and the procedures that must be followed, the one-year ban provided in the Constitution.
May clarification sa one-year bar kasi doon.
When impeachment complaints are
Yun yung
filed,
issue
at
dun eh.
least one-third of the members of the House of Representatives. Yung pong nabanggit nila that the basis of any charge must relate to the incumbency of the official, in my view, that is obiter dicta, not necessary
I
for the
appreciate your
decision of
answer.
the
We'll go
case.
to that. But regardless of the Duterte versus House of Representative ruling, we do agree with letter
yeah.
A. The act charge must be an impeachable offense under Article 11(2) of the Constitution.
I would agree, but if
Yes.
I may be allowed to just qualify
No, this is just a
that.
general. This is not a trap question. So,
No,
diba, so the officer has to be impeachable, and the acts charge should be an impeachable offense. And since you have betrayal of public trust, that's quite broad. No? So this is not a trap question. This is just laying the basis. But go ahead.
Ang gustong palabasin dito ni Alan Peter Cayetano, kung mag-grant man sila ng subpoena, dapat doon sa period lang na impeachable siya. Yan, pinapahaba lang ni Alan Peter, pero yun ang tumbok niya.
Exclusively with this honorable court.
Okay. So you disagree that part of the ratio decidendi is the act must be committed during the term of the impeachable officer. Thank you for bringing it up now, because I think all throughout the trial, especially in the articles where we will bring up acts before 2022, this discussion will be relevant, no? So by discussing this, it will pass upon the whether or not including proof like bank records, financial documents before her term can be inquired into. The prosecution says it cannot, right? Because you believe it's an obiter dictum. I'm just restating, but you can say it in your words. You believe that the statement that the act must be committed during the term of the impeachable officer is not the law of the land. It's an obiter dictum.
In the first place, if Your Honor, please, that was not the exact statement of the court.
Okay.
The court said the basis of the charge must relate to the incumbency of the
Okay.
impeachable official,
Yes.
which does not rule out the presentation of evidence of acts or omissions that occurred before the person became an
So
impeachable
let's
officer.
take the judicial notice of the, as you said more eloquently and correctly, that the acts, no, during her term. So can you define, you defined this in your opening statement, but for the sake of this discussion, an obiter dictum is what?
It's a side comment, Your Honor, that is not necessary for the resolution of that case.
Yeah, and I agree with that, and it's a remark made or opinion expressed by a judge in a decision upon a cause, or it's a by the way, that is incidentally or collaterally and not directly upon the question before him, or upon a point not necessarily involved in the determination of the cause, or introduced by way of illustration, analogy, or argument, such are not binding precedents. No? Just for the public and for all of us, di ba?
Yes,
So
Your
ang sinasabi, yes, there can be a Supreme Court decision, but that part could be an obiter dictum, meaning hindi yan yung doktrina that will bind us in making decisions, whether it's issuing the subpoena or not, or admissibility. But are you aware of the Villanueva versus Court of Appeals, GR 142947, March 19, 2002? I won't take it against both of you if you do not. There are thousands of cases. It talks about what is obiter dictum. Have you passed about on this, both counsels?
For me, Your Honor.
Yeah, so the prosecution characterization of the requirement that the basis of the charge must be for impeachable acts or omissions committed in relation to their office during the current term of the impeachable officer as an obiter dictum. But in the Court of Appeals, in Villanueva versus Court of Appeals, in that case, the Supreme Court held an adjudication on any point within the issues presented by the case cannot be considered an obiter dictum, even where the point is only incidentally involved. So we agree if it's incidental, pwedeng obiter, but if it's on point within the issues, sabi ng Villanueva case, it is not. So long as it is presented and decided in the regular course of the consideration of the case and led up to the final conclusion, or is a statement as to the matter of which the decision is predicated. The court added that a point expressly decided does not lose its value as a precedent because the disposition of the case is or might have been made on some other ground, and that where a court decides several points, none of such points can be regarded as having the status of a dictum. And one point should not be denied authority merely because another point was and more dwelt on and more fully argued and considered. So going back to the Duterte versus House of Representatives, the requirement that an impeachable act be committed in relation to their office and during the current term was not a remark made by the way. The Supreme Court en banc laid it down as one of the enumerated principles that due process requires, which is the very ground on which the ruling was predicated. Even if the court also struck down the 2025 impeachment complaint based on the one-year bar, so this is the question, does it not render the due process requirement laid out as a mere obiter dicta, or because it's based on due process,
Hindi siya controlling eh.
regardless of the mode of initiation, regardless of the mode of how the articles of impeachment.
Alam nyo, nalilito ako dito. Nalito ako doon sa sinabi ni Alan Peter kasi para lang pakinggan mo si Joke, no?
Okay. If a matter is within the issues resolved by the court, then it may not be considered as obiter dictum. But if we look
Yun
at
nga
the
is-
decision in the case of Duterte versus House of Representatives, ang mismong nangyari po doon ay may naunang dalawang complaints that
Correct.
were endorsed at may sumunod na complaint filed by at least one-third of the
Yun din yung
members.
iniisip ko eh. Kaya nalito ako kanina.
Yun yung tinutukan po ng ating Supreme Court. It was
Right.
in that context that the Supreme Court made pronouncements about the one-year bar and even about due
In due
process.
process.
At no
Right.
time in that
Tama.
case, was it ever a fact in issue about the mode of impeachment that is involved in our case today? Ang pinag-uusapan po natin dito ay individual complaints that were then
Due process
referred
in
to the
relation
House
to
Committee
the
on
one-year bar.
Justice, heard by the committee, and then brought back to the plenary, and eventually umabot po dito through articles of impeachment. So kahit may sinabi ang Supreme Court about impeachable offenses in relation to the charges, kami po ay naniniwala na hindi po yan pumapasok o sumasama
Tama.
sa
Tama si Chel Jokno kasi ang gusto kasi nilang gawin yung due process comment ng Supreme Court will apply to the whole, to everything, kahit hindi related doon sa issues nung kaso na sinasite nila. Pero kasi mga kababayan at mga kakotsero, kung sa mga po, kasi syempre alam niyo naman naglo-law school kami. Ako, 'di ba? Sa law school kasi pag nagsa-cite kami ng mga decisions, usually related yung sagot namin doon sa issue. At any comment na hindi related doon sa issue ng kaso, yun yung sinasabing obiter o obiter dictum, or parang pagpapaliwanag lang, dagdag impormasyon para mas maintindihan yung kaso. Kaya ako kanina nalito ako sa sinasabi ni Alan Peter kasi may sinite siyang napakahabang quote pero hindi yun related sa issue nung Duterte versus House of Representatives. Abogado siya, niyabang niya, nag-graduate siya ng Ateneo. So ibig sabihin, magaling na law school ang Ateneo, napakagaling. Niyabang niya yun, pero ngayon naglo-law bending siya. Binebend niya ang jurisprudence kasi that's the force and power of law eh. So ang weird. Kaya medyo nalito ako doon sa sinabi ni Alan Peter. Kasi nga hindi siya controlling doon sa kaso. Ang issue ng kaso ni Sara Duterte is meron bang due process doon sa pag-dismiss nung 3 naunang impeachment complaint sa kanya? Meron bang due process doon sa pagpasa nung fast track na impeachment? Meron bang due process doon sa pag-delay ng almost 2 months doon sa pagdesisyon nung 3 naunang impeachment case sa kanya? Hindi ibig sabihin na mag-a-apply yun pati sa ebidensya, mag-a-apply yun sa lahat. No, it doesn't. It will only apply, kaya kapag nagko-quote ka ng jurisprudence, you will only quote the doctrine or the ratio decidendi, yung sinabi ni Congressman Chel kanina. Doon ka lang kukuha sa ratio kasi yun yung related doon sa kaso. Kaya naguluhan ako kanina kay Alan Peter.
In my opening statement, integrity cannot be divided. Hindi po pwedeng biyakin ang integridad.
So on that point, so if a president, an ombudsman, a COA chair who's let's say 60 years old but he started in government at 20 years old, he can be impeached by something he's done when he was 20 to 30, not only on what he's done when he was already an impeachable officer.
If we are speaking about unexplained wealth, Your Honor, I have repeatedly cited the cases of the Supreme Court that provide that we must look from the reckoning of the first day of service of that public official.
Kasi public office yan
All
eh.
the income that person has amassed and determine whether it is manifestly disproportionate to the lawful income that he has reported.
Yes, I agree in terms of
Huli mo,
holding
sir. Huli mo.
liable and accountable. But what I'm saying is that let's say he was a counselor, then he was a customs director, then he was BAR, then he's now COA. Isn't the remedy for all his other positions that weren't impeachable is through the regular courts and regular case build-up, etc. But once you're an impeachable officer, you're being held accountable during the term that you are, in fact, an impeachable officer, because usually when you're an impeachable officer, it's too hard to prosecute you the normal way. Isn't that the logic there, or you disagree, counsel?
Hindi.
I would have to respectfully disagree. Ang pinag-uusapan po natin kasi dito ay betrayal of public trust And I think it's very clear that when we speak of betrayal of public trust, essentially we are looking at whether the public official is fit or unfit to continue in service. Kung siya po ay nakapag-amass ng unexplained wealth, nung siya ay vice mayor o mayor na umaabot sa bilyon-bilyones, I think that would have a very big impact on the court's decision whether that person should continue in office or whether they are fit to have that office.
Okay, as I said,
With
I
the
won't-
permission of Senator Judge Alan Cayetano, with your indulgence, sir, a request was conveyed to the presiding officer to declare a very brief break. This is not a break for all of us, but a very brief break of 5 minutes so that council may answer to the call of nature. That was the message conveyed to the presiding officer, including Senator Judge Cayetano. So Chair declares a 5-minute break. We shall resume at 4:05.
Wait, game, kwentuhan tayo sandali. So, obviously, si Alan Peter Cayetano tsaka si Pia Cayetano. Well, ito, kay Pia Cayetano, kinwestiyon niya yung legality or the illegality of acquiring yung ebidensya from AMLAC. That's very obvious. Masyado nang obvious yun, guys. Pangalawa, itong si Alan Peter Cayetano, kinu-question niya yung requirement of due process. Doon sa issue ng, kanina ko pa binabasa sa implementing rules and regulations, walang specific na nagsasabi na dapat itago. Hindi siya tawag dito. Pero point is, hindi siya absolute confidentiality. Nagbigay ng mechanism ang nagbigay ng pamamaraan ang AMLAC para sila ay makapag-report ng mga impormasyon. At actually, may nabasa pa nga ako kanina na kapag ang disclosure was made in good faith, hindi mo pwedeng kasuhan ng secretariat maski yung yung opisyal ng AMLAC na naglabas noon if it was made in good faith. So, hindi siya absolute confidentiality. At if I remembered correctly, ang nag-report nung AMLAC report, ang nagkwento noon ay yung chairman mismo ng AMLAC. So, at ginawa niya yon dahil pinatawag siya sa Committee on Justice hearing, specifically hearing the impeachment complaint against Sara Duterte. And so, walang issue yon. Tapos pangalawa, meron tayong exemption sa bank secrecy law. Papaita ko na habang nandito. May exemption tayo dyan, guys. Oo. Hindi absolute yan. Chrome tab. Ito yan Bank secrecy law to Bank secrecy law. Sa kasulat. Section 2. All deposits of whatever nature with banks or banking institutions in the Philippines, including investments and bonds, are hereby considered absolutely confidential in nature and may not be examined or looked into by any person. So, absolutely confidential daw. Sabi ng bank secrecy law. Kaso, may except. So, may exemption. Except upon written permission or, ang linaw, in cases of impeachment. Kailangan pa ba nating i-memorize yan? Malinaw naman siya It's not covered. But, impeachment is not a shield against transparency and accountability. So as far as the bank records are concerned, free for all yan. Bahala kayo. Wala kayong choice. Oo, it is what it is. Pero yung sa pangalawa, yung sa Duterte, kasi ang weird talaga nung ang weird talaga nung ginawa ni Alan Peter. Pakita ko sa inyo yung requirements. Kasi mga kababayan, mga kakotsero, ito kasi yung issues. Are the petitions justiciable? Pwede ba itong pag-usapan sa Supreme Court? Pwede yan. Sabi ng Supreme Court, oo. Is the impeachment process primarily a legal and thus revocable proceeding? Sinagot din niya ng Supreme Court. Pag na natin pansinin yan. Ito yung mga issues na kapag babasahin mo yung kaso, dapat masagot ito. Lahat ng mga bagay na sasagot sa mga tanong na ito, yun yung controlling, controlling or ratio. Yan yung controlling doon sa kaso. Lahat ng hindi sumasagot dyan, yun yung obiter dictum. So mga kababayan, yung issues is, number one, did the House comply with the duty to include 3 citizen-endorsed complaints? Did the transmittal of the 4th complaint toll constitutional periods? Ano daw yung relationship ng due process? Nag-violate ba ng due process dito sa issue na to? Pangalawa, did the House commit grave abuse of discretion? Pang-apat, in the 4th impeachment complaint, barred by 1 year, blah blah blah, unconstitutional dahil daw barred by 1 year. So, dito dapat papasok yung sinasabi ni Alan Peter Cayetano na requirements ng due process. Kapag gagamit ka ng isang jurisprudent. Kaso, kanina ginamit niya yung argumento ng due process para pigilan ang pagsusubpina ng bank accounts. Hindi siya pasok, kumbaga. Hindi siya pasok. Dapat kung naghanap ng jurisprudence itong si Alan Peter, yung hinanap niya jurisprudence na related sa violations of due process or grave abuse of discretion sa mga kaso na related sa pag-issue ng subpoena. Nag-gets yung ibig ko sabihin? Kasi mas convincing 'yun. Kaysa yung kukuha ka, huhugot ka lang, may nakita kang due process dito. Pwede na yan, ganyan-ganyan. Tapos i-apply mo dito sa kaso ni Sara Duterte. Hindi pwede yun. Kailangan magkakapareho ng fact. Parang ganito yan. Halimbawa, sasakyan. Parehong kulay itim. Parehong 4 ang gulong. Parehong may makina. Diba? Parehong gasolina. Pero yung isa, Mercedes-Benz, yung isa, BMW. Ibig nyo bang sabihin, yung pyesa ng BMW ay pwede rin sa pyesa ng Mercedes? Pareho namang itim, parehong 4 ang gulong, parehong di gasolina, parehong luxury car. Pwede ba yon? Siyempre hindi. Yung pyesa ng BMW, pang BMW lang. Yung pyesa ng Mercedes-Benz, pang Mercedes-Benz lang. Ganun ho yun. Kung gagamit ka ho ng kaso na pang BMW, dapat gagamitin mo rin siya sa isang sitwasyon na pang BMW rin. Ganun o ibig sabihin nun. Kaya nga ang ni-raise dito ni Congressman Chel Jokno, ay hindi. Ang kwentuhan dyan, Mercedes. Chedeng ang usapan dyan, hindi BMW. Ganun ang sinasabi dito ngayon ni Chel Jokno. Kaya buti nga nagdi-disagree siya kasi kung hindi, lalo malilito ang taong bayan.